Hey guys, welcome back. Dirk here. Today we've got the first Reese Weiland on the channel. This one is Reese Weiland's Fatty Slash. Lights are going to play a little bit of fun with it because it's all just tumbled titanium, really. So we'll jump right into the specs of this Fatty Slash and go from there. So close length is 5 3/8 inches with an overall length of 9.25, blade length of 3.79 with a cutting edge of 3.20. The blade thickness is a whopping 3/8 of an inch. Blade steel is, I believe, 440C. And it weighs in at a hefty 14.2 ounces with an overall thickness of 0.92 minus the clip, of course. And it does run on bearings. So it is, be careful before it chops your fingers off. So, and I can tighten this up just a hair, the pivot up just a hair to kind of help curtail some of that. One of the other measurements that I don't normally do on a knife is the depth of, I'm not really sure how to explain it, but the depth of the blade. So because it's a 3/8 inch blade, you got to have a little bit of extra room there as well. So it's quite, you get your pinky in here pretty good and get to that blade. The edge of the blade is 0.20 inches below the edge of the scale, if that makes sense. So the edge of the blade is 0.2 below the edge of the scale. So right about where my finger is, give or take. So I have not cut myself. I mean, if I stick my finger in here kind of sideways, I can touch the edge of the blade. So that's kind of a concern. I would have probably rather have had a backspacer that kind of went maybe up half, 3/4 of the way, something wrapped around and came up to kind of help protect you a little bit more. But as you can see, this is just a cleaver style. It's why it's called the Slash. This is, have I carried the knife? Yes. Is it something I carry all the time? No. Is it super practical? No. But it's one of those things that you have that you just want to have. So I've got 3 of Reese's Fatties. There's this one, there's a Fatty Tonto and a Fatty Strike. And I'll do reviews on those coming up in the future as well. So it is a titanium frame, 440C blade. It does have an over travel stop, so you cannot unspring the lock, which you can see right here. And it does have, it does not have a steel lock bar insert. Doesn't look like, nope, don't see one there. Super simple construction. It does run on bearings, and the blade does collect a lot of fingerprints, but it's a hand rub satin blade. Reese is a handmade custom maker, so they're all made individually by him. So that's kind of cool. My buddy Valentino is having a bigger Slash made right now. Reese does make one that I think has a fatty sword, I think he calls it, with a much longer blade. So he's got, plus Reese does a lot of weird and crazy, he does some art knives as well that I have not had a chance to check out, but I just loved it. I think I don't remember where I got this one from. I might have got it from Valentino. I just don't recall. It was either from Valentino or maybe John Paul. But I know I got my Strike from John Paul, I think. And I think I got this one from Val. It doesn't matter. I got it a while back. And I'm still good friends with both of those guys. So I'm sure someone will correct me. But it is a big knife. The clip works really well, and I do like the shape and the style of the clip. It does work really well. It does have a lanyard hold. Again, I'm not a lanyard guy, but the lanyard hold does go through the backspacer. So you're not going to have a problem because the blade does go pretty close to the backspacer. So you have enough room for a lanyard if you wanted to do a lanyard. But yeah, the only real gripe is just the big opening space here and potential of slicing open your finger depending on how you put your hand in your pocket and if you're playing with it or whatnot. If you're rubbing the edge in your pocket, that could be a problem. But while it is a thick blade, it is a very smooth hollow grind that really goes down. It's really hard to pick up on the camera even, but it does come down to a very fine edge, and it is rather sharp. This could use a strop or so, but it is pretty sharp, and it cuts really well for being so thick. I mean, it's not going to be something you're going to slice your apple and do whittling with, but again, this is not the most practical knife. But as you have seen on some of my other videos, when I brought out the Peacemaker, I am not into completely practical knives. I like to have some fun. So let me give you a couple size comparisons so that we can try to convey the size of this behemoth here. So there is your Sharpie. The Sharpie is actually just, it's the size of the handle. And because I like to keep this here on my table, the Todd Big Steelcraft Field Marshal, which is the same overall length, give or take a tiny bit, but obviously much thinner, much lower profile. And the other one that I keep here on my table is the large Sebenza 21. Again, the large Sebenza is a hair shorter, but you know, really, yeah, it's quite a bit shorter. So yeah, the Reese Weiland is not a just everyday knife. It's a fun knife to have in the collection. I do enjoy the other two that I have. My buddy John actually has a couple that I've been wanting to get from him for a while that are pretty crazy wild also, because Reese can do a lot of inlays. He's got some, you know, marble inlays, Damascus inlays. He does some Damascus clips. You know, he can do anything because they're all custom, but I believe he actually has some that are thicker than the 3/8. He's got some 1/2 inch and some 3/4 and maybe even a 1 inch thick, I believe, out there. So pretty cool stuff. Again, it's not for everybody, but it's a fun knife to have in my collection. So I wanted to share with you guys. So please do me a favor, let me know what your favorite big overbuilt crazy knife is. And please like, comment, and subscribe so that you know when we get new videos out. And in the description below, I'll have a link to my playlist of other overbuilt knives, which will include my heater MOW, my Phil Harvey Peacemaker, and my other overbuilt knives that are in there as well, Direware, whatnot. So check that out. Be sure to check that out too. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.